Terrodome will be giving you my Dynasty Week 3 predictions. Let's get right into it. This week we have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys is going up against this week's second-ranked worst rushing defense, allowing 250 yards. I think that this week Ezekiel Elliott will have to get going for them to pull his victory out and get a win, a bounce-back win there in Dallas. My pick for this game was to be the Dallas Cowboys with a big run game by Ezekiel Elliott. Next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts defense has to step up. They can't give up 406 yards and expect to win. Key player in this game is Allen Robinson. He's been held to a total combined 82 yards in his past 2 games. I'm expecting him to have a big game and go off and have that breakout game of the season. My prediction for this game will be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons versus the New Orleans Saints. 2 key players in this game. Julio Jones, who had a 111-yard receiving game last week, versus Brandon Cooks, who also had another 100-yard receiving game. Out of those 2 players who can rise up their team on offense, will pull it out. But my pick in this game will have to be the Atlanta Falcons. Defense stepping up and slowing down Cook. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Carolina Panthers had to figure out some way how to put points on the board after being held to 3 points in their last week loss against the Atlanta Falcons. This week, I would have to say that the Bucs once again should lean on Jameis Winston's because they're going up against a tough Carolina Panthers team that knows how to stop the run. My pick in this game will have to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, leaning on Jameis Winston and getting them that victory. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. The Baltimore Ravens have to figure out how to stop being one-dimensional and get that run game going and take some pressure off of Joe Flacco. The Cleveland Browns, one name, one player, Fletcher. Let them loose this week. Ground and pound, baby. My pick for this game is the Cleveland Browns. Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings versus the Detroit Lions. For the Vikings, they brought DeAndre Hopkins over there through a trade. He hasn't got going yet. He's been held to a total of 97 combined yards receiving in the last 2 games. For them to figure out how they're going to win, they have to get this guy going and get him going fast. Detroit has to cut back on the turnovers. They're second in the league right now for turnovers, which are 6. To me, my pick in this game have to be the Minnesota Vikings getting DeAndre Hopkins going. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. We got the number 1 ranked offense versus the number 2 ranked offense. This is going to be another shootout. These 2 teams competed very well in their Week 1 matchup. My pick for this game will have to be, once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers. As long as they're healthy, they will always be dangerous for any opposing defense. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs' red zone efficiency is at 100%, scoring 5 touchdowns. So that's basically telling you once they get in that red zone, they're going to figure out somehow, some way to punch it in the end zone. The Eagles came off an impressive win against the Green Bay Packers, showing a well-balanced offense. To me, the Eagles have to stay on track as far as keeping the defense guessing, keep that offense balanced with a positive running game and a positive passing game. My pick for this game will have to be the Chiefs, riding at 3 straight home games and getting another victory at home. Next up, we have the San Diego Chargers versus the New York Giants. The Chargers need to get things going fast after being shut out 49-0. The Giants is going up a team that ranks 2nd in yards allowed, total offense. This should be easy. Odell Beckham should have a positive day, going over 150 receiving yards. My pick for this game will have to be the New York Giants pulling it out and pulling it out big. Odell Beckham will be visiting that end zone multiple times. Next up, we have the LA Rams versus the Cardinals. The Rams secondary is struggling, allowing a total of 542 offensive passing yards. These guys have to figure out how to make secondary plays. Their front four is dominating, but when the front four is not making plays, this secondary is getting carved up. This week they're going up against a very dangerous wide receiver core, and I'm expecting them to get things going with that passing game. My pick for this week will have to be the Cardinals, baby. Big Air Day, Larry Fitzgerald, Brown, Floyd, get them going, you'll pull it out. Next up, we have the Houston Texans versus the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee, they suffered 3 key injuries in a Week 2 victory. I'm expecting the Texans to get after that backup quarterback, get them uncomfortable early, let them make mistakes, and step on their throats. They down, they're hurt. Don't lack up. Don't take it easy on them. Come at them full force so that you can pull this win out. My pick will be the Houston Texans. I think that the Titans are too injured, and they got to figure out something fast, because those guys will be going for a couple weeks. Next up, we have the Washington Redskins versus the Seahawks. This Seahawks defense, man, is just stingy. Ranked number 1 in the league, only allowing a total of 163 yards in a matter of 2 weeks. My pick for this game, defense wins championships. The Seattle Seahawks smothering that Washington Redskins lost offense. Next up, we have the Denver Broncos versus the New England Patriots. The Patriots have to get Jacoby Brissett back into the rhythm and shake those 4 interceptions off that he threw last week. The Denver Broncos, you know what I say about y'all, man. Bully defense, baby. Keep that bully defense up and get the ball to y'all star receiver, Demaryius Thomas. And my pick for this game will have to be the Denver Broncos, going on a 3-game winning streak. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears just continue to impress me with win after win, but the most important thing in these wins is their defense. Their secondary is stepping up. Their linebackers are stepping up. These guys, man, are really coming out there playing Chicago-style football. The Packers have to figure out some way how to keep getting the ball into Nelson's hands. With Cobb being out and being sidelined for a couple weeks due to injuries, who will step up in that secondary wide receiver role and take some pressure off of Nelson? My pick for this game will have to be the Packers pulling it out, figuring a way how to get those wide receivers going and bringing one back to the home, baby. Next up, we have the New York Jets versus the Bills. The Jets have to stick to what they know. Get that run game going. And can they secondary make some plays? The Bills, impressive win going up to Gillette Stadium, shutting down that high-powered New England team. It's easy, baby. Keep doing what you're doing. Ball hawking secondary. Keep creating turnovers. My pick for this game would be the Buffalo Bills secondary coming up big again. Those are my picks. Week 3. I'm out, baby.
The Dynasty Madden League Network, the worldwide leader in CFM.